Game 3 of the Championship Series between Holsinger and Locker Room. Alpha Locker Room starting lineup. Batting first, playing center field, number 7, Lawson Kozowski. Batting second, the pitcher, number 23, Connor Steer. Batting third, the shortstop, number 11, Cooper Miller. Batting fourth, playing first base, number 10, Ty Rischel. Batting fifth, playing second base, number 22, Declan Letts. Batting sixth, playing third base, number 3, Braden Augustine. Batting seventh, the catcher, number 25, Mason Steer. Batting eighth, playing left field, number 12, Tobias Smith. Batting ninth, playing right field, number 39, Keelan Wyatt. The reserves, Chase Piotti, Henry Drum, Nate Dupley, and Carter Wilmot. Managed by Mike Rischel, and coached by Brent Miller, Anthony Augustine, Joe Piotti, and Dustin Schaefer. At Holsinger starting lineup. Batting first, the pitcher, number 20, Trenton Fairbaugh. Batting second, the catcher, number 3, Xavier Fairbaugh. Batting third, playing shortstop, number 2, Cannon Shields. Batting fourth, playing second base, number 14, Carter Klausman. Batting fifth, playing first base, number 11, Micah Fairbaugh. Batting sixth, playing center field, number 1, Corbin Johnston. Batting seventh, playing third base, number 19, Gio Peretta. Batting eighth, playing left field, number 12, Saban Hatfield. Batting ninth, playing right field, number 18, Eddie Brumbaugh. With reserves, Corey Smith, David Delancey, Ben Gordon, Lear Powell, Parker Trexler, Jackson Ebersol, Levi Bailey, and Grayson McGarvey. Managed by Brian Fairbaugh, and coached by Jared Klausman, Brendan Peretta, Josh Fairbaugh, and Jaron Hatfield. Ladies and gentlemen, please rise and remove your caps for the playing of our national anthem.
Beautiful rendition of the national anthem by Chris Stapleton, as there's lots of anticipation in the air for Game 3 of the championship, winner take all, and there's high stakes here for both teams. Holsinger's Plumbing trying to win their third consecutive championship, and for Locker Room trying to win their first. Pleasure to have you with us here on the AABA Sports Network. Whether you're watching on Facebook or YouTube, I'm Jake Irwin, providing you the play-by-play commentary. We hope you've had a relaxing weekend, and you get to cap it off with some great baseball between two great teams. Starting pitcher out there for Holsingers is Trenton Faribaugh. And the first batter he'll be facing in the Locker Room lineup is Lawson Pizowski, Following him is Connor Steer doing the pitching on the other side today. Cooper Miller in the number 3 spot. Ty Rischel at cleanup, followed by Declan Lutz, Braden Augustine, Mason Steer, Tobias Smith, and Keelan Wyatt. That's a look at the lineup today for Locker Room. A team that is 23-8 on the season, 3-2 in their last 5 games, 8-2 through their last 10. And for Holsingers, standing in with a 27-2 record and 3-2 in their last 5 outings. Ready for baseball. Winner of this game takes the 2024 AABA crown. Our game begins with Lawson Pazowski, the center fielder today for Locker Room. Sun shining here on John Kraft Field, slight breeze in the air. And the first pitch clocked at 7:03 p.m. Ball 1 here on Pazowski. Trenton Faribault set and fires his next one. That one's in the turf. 2 balls and no strikes to start off Pazowski. Wasn't able to get on base last night. Takes a 3-0 count now, which is a rarity because Pazowski frequently finds ways to get on base. Good start here, though, with a 3-0 count. And he'll take 4 straight balls to put him on first base.
Now batting the pitcher number 23, Connor Steer.
So runner on first here to start off this ball game this evening. And after 4 straight balls, Xavier Faribault comes out from behind home plate to talk with Trenton Faribault and calm him down a bit. Didn't miss the strike zone by much, but was trying to carve away on the outer corners of the zone and just couldn't clip any of them. Righty versus righty battle as the opposing pitcher Connor Steer gives one a ride to deep left field, camping under it. And dropping that one out in left is Taven Hatfield. And advancing to third is Lawson Pazowski. In the second is Connor Steer with nobody out. Oh, I don't know what happened there. Perhaps Hatfield just lost sight of it, or not sure what happened. He was camped under it for a while and then just bounced off of him. And so now Cooper Miller steps up here in the number 3 spot and will try to take advantage of those 2 runners in scoring position with nobody out. First pitch he faces is right down Main Street for strike number 1. Pazowski at third after his walk. Connor Steer on second after that error. Nobody out. And next one, sliced down the third baseline for a foul. Hitting that slider offered there by Faribault. Now we've got an 0-2 count on Locker Room's shortstop. Connor Steer continuing to mash the ball well as of late. Had 3 singles last night, and although that wasn't a hit, this one fouled down the line. We'll do it again at an 0-2 count. Still put it in play and advance to second base with Pazowski at third. Cooper Miller got on base twice last night with a walk, as well as a triple. Takes that one high and inside. 1-2. Faribault gets the one he wants, and his 1-2 pitch off speed. It's a wild pitch coming home to score is Pazowski, and he is out. His foot sliding in was blocked by Trenton Faribault's foot whenever he was trying to touch home plate, and a big out number 1. So after that, Connor Steer was able to advance to third base. A 2-2 count here on Miller. That one just missing the outside of the zone. Oh, that would have been a big strike 3 call there to get 2 outs. Instead, Miller will stand in with a 3-2 full count, 1 out, runner on third base. Here's the next pitch, and jolts this one out to right field. It's foul, out towards the road. And so we'll do the payoff pitch again. Already a big play in this game. That clutch throw by Xavier Faribault to Trenton Faribault to get Piasowski swinging at that off-speed pitch and going down on strikes is Cooper Miller. And now Trenton Faribault is 1 out away from getting out of a jam that saw runners at second and third with nobody out. Up comes Ty Rischel. Cleanup batter playing first base tonight for Locker Room. Fouls the first one off he sees, and he'll start off with an 0-1 count. So in case you missed it, Piasowski got on with a walk. Connor Steer advanced to second on an error by the left fielder, so there was runners at second and third. And Piasowski came running home on a wild pitch. 0-2 count here on Rischel. And Xavier Faribault flipped it to Trenton Faribault, who tagged out Piasowski running home. Connor Steer was able to advance to third, and then a strikeout of Cooper Miller. That leaves us with an 0-2 count here in Ty Rischel. Runner at third, 2 outs. Scoreless. The pitch. Way up high. Coming in to score is Connor Steer. Here's another throw home. This time, the runner is safe. Locker Room draws first blood here in Game 3 of the championship. So 1-0 Locker Room and a 1-2 count here on Rischel. Faribault, his 1-2. Fastball right down the middle. Froze Rischel. And the side will retire. Crazy start to this game. Piasowski thrown out at home. Then Connor Steer comes in to score on a wild pitch to make it a 1-0 Locker Room lead. Holsingers will bring out the bats for the first time in this game right after this break. Welcome back here to John Kraft Field, where Locker Room holds a 1-0 lead here over Holsinger's Plumbing in this winner-take-all game for the AABA Championship. Holsingers, of course, looking for 3 in a row. Locker Room looking for their very first. And the first one that Trenton Faribault sees, he fouls back 0-1 count. Was a wacky inning last time out. Up and away, 1-1, in which saw an error by the left fielder to have runners at second and third with nobody out, a runner getting thrown out at home, and then a runner scoring on a wild pitch. So already lots of action here in this game. 1-1, it's inside. 2-1 count here on Holsinger's pitcher. Connor Steer out there as a starter here for Locker Room. This one, driven out to right field. It's a foul. So now a 2-2 count here on Trenton Faribault. wasn't able to get on last night. What was a slow hitting day for Holsingers. A rarity, given the dynasty that this team has built. Of course, not losing a game in 2022 or 2023, and then losing their first game against LS Fury in the semifinals here this postseason. Fly out to center field there by Trenton Faribault, one away here in the bottom of the first. So just crazy to think how Holsingers went from not losing a single game in nearly 3 years to 2 in the last 5 games. Now here's Xavier Faribault, first one he sees. Grounderson over to the third baseman, bobbles it, but gets it over in time to complete the ground out. Nice job there by Braden Augustine over at third base. And now 2 quick outs here in Holsingers, and up comes Cannon Shields. Shields had a single in last night's game. 1 for 3 outing in that 7-4 loss, game 2 of this championship series. 2 outs, nobody on base, and the 1-0 to Shields. Outside, 2-0. Steer gets the one he wants, his windup and his 2-0 pitch. It's a curveball, but it's too high. 3-0. Here on Holsinger's shortstop. 3-0 pitch, and that one hits the bottom of the zone. More off-speed stuff there out of the hand of Connor Steer. And here comes his 3-1 offering. Up high, as Cannon Shields discards the bat and takes first base with a walk. So runner at first with 2 away here in the bottom of the first. 1-0 locker room lead after Connor Steer scored in a wild pitch. And now the cleanup batter, Carter Klausman, playing second base here this evening for Holsingers. And the pitch here from Steer. Fastball outside. Checking over at the first base runner is Mason Steer. So it's the Steer-Steer connection tonight with Connor pitching and Mason catching. Inside, bullet sent down the third base line. It's just foul. And there were conflicting signals there by the umpires. Third base umpire said that was fair. Home plate umpire said that was foul. From my vantage point, that was foul by an inch, not much. But they each had different signals here. So now they're going to have to talk this one over and see what we get. But play has stopped, so I don't even know what kind of ruling they would give if they decide it was fair, what they do with the base runners at that point. I think they're just going to go with foul ball. And that is the right call. I mean, it was foul. Not by much, but by mere inches. Now an explanation being given to the Holsingers dugout. And so now we're ready to resume play. 1-1 even count. 2 outs, runner on first base. And the pitch. Foul tipped by Klausman. 1-2. Klausman had a nice night last night where he went 2 for 4, had a single and a double. And the 1-2 pitch by Steer, high and inside, 2-2. The windup. And Steer's pitch just missing a little high. Great eye there by Klausman to lay off of that. Cannon Shields at first base after his walk. 2 outs and a full count. And the pitch to Klausman. Scoots out of the way of that one. And takes his walk. Back-to-back walks issued by Connor Steer. Here with 2 away.
First baseman, number 11, Micah Faribault.
So now stepping up is Micah Faribault. Had a double in last night's contest. Down and outside, 1-0. Holsingers winning the first game of the series 4-3. Locker room taking last night's game 7-4. Lightning bolt sent out to left center field. Rounding third and coming in to score is Cannon Shields. Into third base is Carter Klausman. And in at first with an RBI single to tie our game up is Micah Faribaugh. 1-1 ball game.
RBI brings up the center fielder, number 1, Corbin Johnston.
And now up comes Corbin Johnston, number 6 hitter for Holsinger's. Big RBI opportunity to try and get Holsinger's their first lead of the game. Taking off for second base and getting there is Micah Faribaugh. So now Micah Faribaugh at second, Carter Klausman at third. Here comes the 1-0 to Johnston. It's a strike. Pass ball there by Mason Steer. Throw to home and sliding in safely is Klausman. Here comes Micah Faribaugh. He's in to score as well. Just like that, in the blink of an eye, Holsingers takes the 3-1 lead in Game 3 of the championship. Two and one count here on Corbin Johnston after 2 runs come in for Holsingers on a passed ball. And a 3-1 count here with 2 away. Lots of energy in the air right now coming from that Holsingers dugout. You can just feel their excitement after those 2 runs came in to score. Just an absolute eruption from our right side where we sit here in the press box. Here's a 3-1 from Connor Steer. That one catches the inside half of the plate to run our count full at 3-2. And the next one, right down the middle, freezing Corbin Johnston for a backwards K. First strikeout recorded by Connor Steer in the mound. But Holsingers making some noise here in the bottom of the first after locker room drew first blood. A big RBI single by Micah Faribaugh and 2 runs scoring on a pass ball give Holsingers this lead and the opportunity for their 3rd consecutive championship. We'll see how locker room responds here in the top of the 2nd inning coming up here in just a moment. Welcome back here to John Kraft Field in sunny Altoona, Pennsylvania, right on 9th Street. 3-1 lead for Holsingers. There are 2 outs to start that bottom of the first inning. And back-to-back walks, an RBI single, and 2 runs scoring on a pass ball to give them this 3-1 lead. First one, though, that Declan Lutz sees. He slashes out into right field for a single. Lutz continuing to see the ball well. Had a pair of doubles last night. The game before that, he had a pair of singles. And here he is with another base hit. Just it's been absolutely electric for this locker room team with the bat in his hands. Down low, nice job there by Xavier Faribaugh. Scooping that one, preventing the wild pitch. 1-0 count here on Braden Augustine, locker room's 3rd baseman. Outside, this time it's a wild pitch, and that allows Lutz to cruise into second base here with nobody out. 2 balls, no strikes. On locker room's number 6 hitter in the lineup. Next one, just a touchdown low, 3-0. Fans packed all around this stadium tonight. Really impressive to see this turnout. Of course, it is game 3 of the championship. But yeah, just tons of people around to watch what has been a great series. First strike of this at bat here in Augustine, 3-1 count, with Lutz at second base and nobody out. And the 3-1 here by Fairbaugh, cuts into the zone, and we've gone a full count. Augustine had a pair of hits last night, a triple and a double. Downstairs, ball 4, and once again, he will get on base. Runners on first and second with nobody out. Now here's Mason Steer. Collected a single last night. Has Lutz at second and Augustine at first base. Fairbaugh leans in for the pitch. Bunt, sent down the first base line, and it's foul. Mason Steer trying to advance both runners in a scoring position here. Get Lutz over to third and Augustine to second. Let's see if he tries to bunt again. He will not. He'll be swinging away and cuts right past that baseball. 0-2 count. After offering a bunt on that first pitch. Comes the 0-2, fouled off, and heading towards the seats, it will leave the playing field. So Steer will step back into the batter's box, protecting the plate. Tobias Smith, the number 8 hitter on deck. Fairbaugh gets the one he wants, and his 0-2. Off speed, swinging away at that one is Mason Steer for big out number 1. Third strikeout recorded here on the night by Trenton Fairbaugh. Now here's Tobias Smith, locker room's left fielder tonight. Slight breeze in the air, but not much. It's a pretty still breeze for the most part. Little gusts here and there. Bunt and pulling back for the ball. One and 0 count here on Smith. And the 1-0 offering a bunt, and that time offered too long, so that'll be a strike. 1-1 even count. Lutz really dancing over there at second base, trying to force a throw by Xavier Fairbaugh behind the plate. Here comes the 1-1. On again, and it's in the zone anyways, 1-2. One out, runners on first and second. The 1-2 pitch, down low. Gives enough time for a runner to advance to third, in there safely. Both runners advance. Declan Lutz to third, Augustine is second. That little bounce that pitch had on the feet of Xavier Fairbaugh gave just enough time for Lutz to get in there safely at third base. Runners at second and third, 1 out. 2-2 count here on Smith. Check swing. He went. Back-to-back Ks recorded by Trenton Fairbaugh for 2 outs, trying to get out of this jam. Now the number 9 hitter, Keelan Wyant. First pitch here to Wyant, and it hits the zone. Lutz at third, Augustine at second base, the 0-1. Downstairs, 1-1 count. Locker room scoring their lone run of this ball game after Connor Steer was able to score on a wild pitch. Pazowski was thrown out at home before that. So it could be a 1-run ball game. 2-1 count here on Wyant. It's a close play at the plate, but Pazowski's foot was blocked by Farabaw's whenever he was sliding into home. That's what allowed Faribault to tag him out. The 2-1. Thought about check swing, but it's in the strike zone anyways. 2-2 count. Declan Lutz on third. He had a single earlier. Augustine on second base after he reached with a walk. The 2-2. Just reaching out for that one and getting a piece of it to stay alive here at the plate. 2 balls, 2 strikes on Keelan Wyant, the number 9 hitter in Locker Room's lineup. Faribault gets the one he wants. The righty fires just outside. Faribault just wondering where that one missed. It was close. A borderline call, and this is one of the biggest pitches of the game right here. 3-2 count, 2 outs, runners on second and third. Called third strike here on Keelan Wyant. Trenton Faribault with some magic work right there. 3 consecutive strikeouts to strand those 2 runners on base deep in scoring position to keep the score at where it is. We go to the bottom of the second inning where Holsingers will try to add on to their lead. Back with more of Game 3 of the AABA Championship after this quick break. Welcome back here to John Kraft Field in Altoona, Pennsylvania. Here in this beautiful sunny summer evening. (3-1) our score. Holsingers trying to add on to it. It's Gio Peretta that leads us off and swinging away at that off-speed pitch offered up by Connor Steer. 0-1 count. (0-1) on its way. Now it's a 1-1 count. Peretta reached base for the first time this series in last night's game with a fielder's choice. Inside, 2-1 count. Here in Holsinger's number 7 hitter. And here's Steers 2-1. Inside, 3-1 count. There's 3 runs on the board for Holsingers after an RBI single by Micah Faribault. And then Carter Klausman and Micah Faribault scoring on a passed ball. Now we have a full count here on Peretta. That one finding its way into the zone. Here's the payoff. Swinging at that elevated pitch for strike number 3 is Gio Peretta. Second strikeout recorded by Connor Steer on the mound, and that's 1 away here in the home half of the second frame. And now the left fielder, Taven Hatfield. He waits the first pitch, and the first one he sees is outside for a 1-0 count. Comes the 1-0. Just outside of the black of the plate. 2-0 count. Here on Holsinger's number 8 hitter in the lineup. And the 2-0 offering. That one inside the zone for a 2-1 count. 1 out, nobody on base. And the next offering swung through for strike number 2. 2-2 count. Here's a 2-2 offering and popped up into shallow right field. First baseman camps under it, and Rischel completes it for out number 2.
That brings up the right fielder, number 18, Eddie Brumbaugh.
So with 2 away, up comes Eddie Brumbaugh to round out this lineup. First pitch, and it's well outside for ball number 1. Both pitchers at a similar pitch count right now. With Connor Steer at 38 total. Here's his 39th. Off speed. Finds its way into the zone. 1-1 even count. Trenton Faribault at 40 total pitches. The 1-1. Swung through for strike number 2. Connor Steer looking for a 1-2-3 inning to round out this second frame. His 1-2 pitch popped up behind home plate. And we'll do another 1-2 count. Here's the pitch, and it goes over the head of Brumbaugh. 2-2. And the next offering, off speed, above his head. It's a 3-2 count. Brumbaugh putting together a solid at-bat. 7th pitch of this at-bat upcoming. 2 outs, nobody on base, and the 3-2. Pops it up into the air behind home plate. Discarding the mask is Mason Steer, and it's going to hit the roof of the press box and trickle its way into Holsinger's dugout. So now we'll have an 8-pitch at-bat here on Eddie Brumbaugh with 2 outs and nobody on base. And the 3-2 goes over Brumbaugh's head for the walk. That's a big deal because now we go to the top of the order here for Holsingers. Trenton Faribault flew out to center field the last time we saw him. First pitch by Steer, outside, but Mason Steer is able to ladle it and prevent it from hurling towards the backstop. Comes the 1-0. And it's down the heart of the plate for a 1-1 even count. The 1-1 popped up high into the air. Connor Steer calling for it. Doesn't have to move far from where he originally pitched that ball. And that does it for our second inning. So for Holsingers, they get a runner on first with Eddie Brumbaugh walking but can't do anything with it, as they hold a 3-1 lead as we go into the third inning here in Game 3 of the AABA Championship. Back with more here shortly. Top of the order, due up here for locker room. Trenton Fairbaugh standing in with 3 consecutive strikeouts, has 5 total already through just 2 innings. First pitcher to Pizowski outside for a 1-0 count. Next one hits the zone. 1-1 even count. Start off our third inning. Just outside, 2-1. It's impressive the amount of viewers we've gotten on this stream this evening. Got up to about 90. Currently sitting at 82. Fouled off. 2-2 even count here in Pizowski, who walked his last time up. And then would eventually be thrown out at home plate. Fairbaugh set, and his 2-2 lined to the shortstop. Shields squeezes leather for out number 1. And with the lineup brings Connor Steer, who reached on an error. Would eventually come around to score on a wild pitch. Strike 1. And for locker room early on in this game, was runners at second and third with nobody out. Trenton Fairbaugh was able to get out of it, only allowing 1 run. After that throw out at home of Pizowski, of course, and then back-to-back strikeouts of Cooper Miller and Ty Rischel. A 1-1. And it's down low for a 2-1 count. 1 out, nobody on base. 3-1 lead for Holsingers. You're in game 3 of this championship. The winner taking home the trophy. The 2-1. Fastball swung through by Steer. Nothing but air on that one, and a 2-2 even count. Fairbaugh set, and his 2-2 right off the edge of the bat for a foul ball. Good to see that Patrick Pellegrino is back from Texas safely. He's been watching these streams throughout all of the postseason, so good to hear you're back home safely, Patrick, after you said you were helping your brother in the Lone Star State. Just outside, 3-2. Connor Steer putting together a pretty nice at-bat. Fairbaugh leans in, gets the one he wants, and his payoff swung at and missed for strike number 3. Yet another strikeout recorded by Fairbaugh. 6 total for him on the mound. So far, carving through the top of this order as the 1 and 2 hitters go down for locker room. Now the number 3 hitter, Cooper Miller. Fairbaugh has struck out 4 of his last 5 batters. Next one, Tapper sent down the first base line. Micah Fairbaugh gloves it and takes it himself for a 3-up, 3-down inning. To the bottom of the third we go. 3-1 Holsinger's lead. Back with more here at John Kraft Field after this quick break. back here at John Kraft Field after a 1-2-3 inning recorded by Trenton Faribault on the mound. The top of the third, we get Xavier Faribault heading the first one he sees in a shallow left field. It drops in for a base hit. Taking a hard cut around first and applying the brakes for his first hit of the ball game. And that's how we get started here in the home half of the third. Now up comes Cannon Shields. Reached on a walk and scored on that RBI single by Micah Faribault in the first inning. Down low to the turf. Wild pitch, and taking advantage of that is Xavier Faribault as he maneuvers his way to the second base bag. Nobody out, and a 1-0 count here on Cannon Shields. Xavier Faribault now with a hit in every game of this championship series. Off the edge of the bat, it trickles its way to second base. Lutz throws it over to first to complete the ground out of Shields, but that does advance Faribault over to third base here with one away. And now the cleanup batter, Carter Klausman, reached on a walk and was one of the two runners to score on that passed ball in the first inning to build Holsinger's lead to what it is right now. Upstairs, 1-0 count. All of the runs here in this ball game so far were scored in the first inning. Holsinger's trying to change that here with an insurance run 60 feet away. Lifted out to shallow center field. Second baseman under it. And it wasn't deep enough to allow Xavier Faribault to try for home. So a big out number 2 right there. Now Micah Faribault, just mentioned a moment ago, had that RBI single. Just gets a piece of that one, fouling it back, 0-1 count. Micah Faribault also has a hit in each game of this series. Had a double last night. And then 3 hits in game 1 of this series. 0-2 count now on Holsinger's first baseman. Remember that 3 RBI outing by Micah Faribault in game 1 of this championship, where Holsinger's won it by a 4-3 score. Inside, 1-2 count. Two outs, runner on third, and here comes the 1-2, Micah Faribault. Puts this one into foul territory. And we'll do another 1-2. Xavier Faribault at third after getting on with a single. The 1-2. Above the head of Micah Faribault, 2-2 count. Connor Steer at 58 total pitches. And here comes number 59. Driven out to the shortstop, bobbles it, recollects it, throw to first, not in time. The error allows Xavier Faribault to score and give Holsingers a 4-1 lead. So 2 productive at-bats by Micah Faribault, had that RBI single, and then put one in play to allow Xavier Faribault to score. Now with 2 away and a runner on first, up comes Corbin Johnston. Struck out looking last time. High pitch, 1-0. Johnston getting on base twice last night with a single and a walk. Fouls this next one off above the Holsinger's dugout. 1-1. The next offering, grounder sent up the middle, out of the reach of Miller at short. First hit of the ball game for Corbin Johnston, getting Micah Faribault over to second base. And that error by Miller starting to prove costly here for locker room. And it was a tough play to make for Miller. Took a bounce at the very last second, which resulted in it tipping off of him. And then he almost got Micah Fairbaugh out whenever he picked that ball back up after it bounced off of him, but Fairbaugh beat it out by a step. And after the mound visit here for Connor Steer, everybody takes their positions. Fairbaugh at second, Johnston at first with 2 away. Now, number 7 batter in this order, Gio Peretta, struck out swinging last time. First one he sees is a fastball, and it forces him to duck. And a 1-0 count. The windup and the 1-0 pitch. Hits the zone, 1-1. And the 1-1, up high, 2-1. Last bit of sunshine here in John Kraft Field is right on that right field wall. As the sun continues to set here in this beautiful summer Sunday evening, lined past the first base coach for a foul ball, 2-2 count here on Peretta. Micah Faribault at second. And Corbin Johnston at first. Comes pitch number 67 by Connor Steer. The 2-2. High and inside. 3-2. In case you missed it, Xavier Faribault scored on an error. Ball that was put in play by Micah Faribault. That's him at second base. And, of course, Johnston at first. Here's the payoff. Line down the middle, past second base, out into center field for a base hit. Getting the wave home is Micah Faribault. Play, he goes behind the throw that came in the Steer. In safely at third base is Corbin Johnston. 5-1 Holsingers. Clutch hitting there by Gio Peretta. And wow, does that have to feel good for Peretta? That is his first base hit of this championship series, and it comes in RBI fashion. And a new pitcher into the game for Locker Room to try and slow the bleeding. 2 outs, runners on second and third. We'll tell you more about the pitcher here after this break on the AABA Sports Network. So the new pitcher into the game for locker room is Braden Augustine. First one is a wild pitch to allow the third base runner to come into home for a 6-1 Holsinger's lead. Corbin Johnston scoring right there. Gio Peretta advancing to third base. And a 1-0 count here on Taven Hatfield, who popped out to the first baseman last time. Next one by Augustine. In there for strike. Cooper Miller moved to third base, and Connor Steer to the shortstop position after Augustine was put on the mound for locker room. 1-1 even count, 2 outs, runner on third. And we've got a 2-1 count. Three runs scoring here in this bottom of the third inning to really build upon Holsinger's lead here in Game 3 of this championship, the 2-1. Elevated for a 3-1 count here on Holsinger's number 8 hitter. Augustine leans in for the pitch from Mason Steer. Now his windup and his 3-1 pitch. Catches the top half of the zone for a 3-2 count. Back-to-back at-bats of full counts. Runner on third with 2 outs. Here comes the 3-2 from Augustine. In there for strike 3. Down goes Taven Hatfield, looking at one at knee level. Inside is retired, but Holsinger's tacks on 3 more runs to build a 6-1 lead. After Xavier Faribault scored on an error, Micah Faribault scoring on an RBI double by Gio Peretta. Peretta's first hit of this championship series, and Corbin Johnston getting home on a wild pitch. We'll see how locker room responds at the top of the 4th inning. More baseball coming up here in just a moment. Back here at John Kraft Field, I'm Jake Irwin, providing you the play-by-play commentary here on this Sunday evening. Thank you for making the AABA Facebook page and YouTube channel a part of your Sunday evening. As the cleanup batter, Ty Rischel, gets us started off and offers at that high pitch, fouling it back for strike number 1. Trenton Faribault in his 4th inning of work pitching for Holsingers. There's strike 2. Faribault has retired the last 6 batters. Gets the one he wants from Xavier Faribault. Off speed. Trying to get Rischel to go fishing. He didn't bite. Rischel with a strikeout looking last time we saw him in the batter's box. And the 1-2. Fastball outside. 2 balls and 2 strikes on locker room's first baseman. Next one is down too low, 3-2. Payoff. Line to the first baseman down the line. Makes the catch. Oh, well done there by the first baseman, Micah Faribaugh, snaring that one. It was right over the line, and he prevented it from going out into right field. Beautiful play there. And that's out number one on the Ty Rischel line out to first. And now Declan Lutz, who singled his last time. First pitch ball. Faribaugh has now retired 7 consecutive batters on the mound. Comes a 1-0. Popped up behind home plate for a foul. 1-1 even count. Mr. Josh Buchanan back in the comment section, watching from YouTube, asking if I got hired for the Park Classic. And answer that, Josh, I have not heard anything about the Park Classic. Down low for a 2-1 count. One out, nobody on base, and the 2-1 here to Lutz. Has to contort his body a little bit there to avoid getting hit by that pitch. 3-1 count. And the next one by Faribaugh, fastball, grounded down the third base side. Throw across the diamond, and it's a strong throw there by Gio Peretta for out number 2.
That brings up the pitcher number 3, Braden Augustine.
And so with 2 quick outs here in the number 4 and 5 hitters, up comes Braden Augustine, who walked the last time. Hard one sent over to the seats here on the right side. Fans had to dodge out of the way of that one, coming hot off the bat of Augustine. 0-1 count. Here with 2 outs and nobody on base. 6-1 lead for Holsinger. Slider. Oh, the movement on that thing just absolutely breathtaking to watch. 0-2. And the pitch. Slider. Misses inside. Last batter to record a hit for Locker Room was Declan Lutz. Whenever he led off in the second inning with his single. Another hard liner into the seats there by Augustine. Here's the 1-2 into the turf, 2-2 count. That's why you always have to keep your eyes on the ball field when you're at a baseball game. Never know when it might be coming your way. After 2 screamers sent over to the stands here behind the first baseline. And the pitch, high and inside, 3-2. Augustine putting together a solid at-bat, trying to create some 2-out lightning here for Locker Room as they trail by 5 runs. The next one offered up by Faribaugh. It's a fastball down and away for ball 4. Back-to-back walks here this evening by Augustine. Puts him at first base with 2 outs. And now the catcher, Mason Steer. Time going to be called by Xavier Faribaugh as he throws down his glove and mask to have a talk with Trenton Faribaugh and the rest of the infield. And to answer your second question, Josh, not sure he would have to talk to for that. It would be my first time in the Park Classic. So I'm not sure about the details with that, but keep me in the loop for it, for sure. Runner at first with 2 outs. Here in the top of the 4th, 6-1 lead for Holsingers. And carving away at the black of the plate there for a strike. Going to start off Mason Steer. And the 0-1. Swinging through that one, 0-2. I appreciate it, Josh, for your willingness to talk to some people about covering the Park Classic. The 0-2 pitch. It's a grounder sent over to the shortstop. Shields, fields it cleanly, throws it over to first to put an end to the top of the fourth inning. So a runner stranded at first base after a walk of Augustine. As Trenton Faribault keeps cutting his way through these locker room batters. Welcome back here to John Kraft Field in Altoona, Pennsylvania. 6-1 lead for Holsinger's Plumbing. I'm Jake Irwin, providing you the play-by-play commentary. Thank you for making us a part of your Sunday evening. Braden Augustine entering for his second inning of relief work on the mound for locker room. First one he offers up, just misses from hole number 1 here on the number 9 hitter, Eddie Brumbaugh. Brumbaugh reached on a walk last time. That one's over his head, 2-0. Now the 2-0 on its way. Outside for a 3-0. Two-one coming up. And the pitch. Swinging through that one. 2-2 even count here on Brumbaugh. Holsinger scoring 3 runs last inning to get them to this 6-1 lead after they scored 3 in the first. And the 2-2. Swung out and missed for strike number 3. Fourth punch out of the day for locker room pitching, and the second one by Augustine. So we flip the lineup card and go to the top of the order with Trenton Faribault in his third at-bat. Gives this one a ride out to left center field, going into the slide and making the catch is Lawson Pizowski for out number 2. Well done there by Pizowski, ranging his way into left center field and giving the slide there, going down low for that ball that was plummeting towards the grass. Now the number 2 hitter, Xavier Faribault, ground out and a single on his line today. Hard one sent over to the right side. First base coach put his bare hand on that one and avoided it from hurling its way towards the seats again. 0-1 count here with 2 away. Nobody on base. Augustine set his windup and his 0-1 pitch. Hit right back to Augustine, goes off of his foot, bounces out to second base, and the second baseman Lutz can't corral it. And so a multi-hit performance for Xavier Faribault. Looks like Augustine is okay after taking that one off of the foot.
Shortstop number 2, Cannon Shields.
Can only imagine how much that stings, but he's taking it well and stepping in there to pitch here against Cannon Shields, who has a walk and a ground out. Runner in first with 2 outs. Shields slicing away at the first pitch and fouling it back for a strike. Holsinger scored their runs last inning whenever Xavier Faribault came around to score on an error. Micah Faribault scoring on an RBI double by Gio Peretta, and Corbin Johnston coming home on a wild pitch. The 0-1 outside, 1-1 count. Here on Holsinger's number 3 hitter. And then locker room scoring in the first inning on a wild pitch with Connor Steer touching the plate. And the 1-1. Curveball, high and inside, 2-1. Xavier Faribault at first base after his single, 2 outs here in the bottom of the 4th. And here comes Augustine's next one, the right-hander. Deals us 2-1, and it's fouled back. 2-2 here on Shields. Right-hander gets the one he wants and fires. Another foul back here by Shields. Two outs, runner on first. And the 2-2 on its way. It's up high for a 3-2 count. Set on the rubber, Augustine, and his payoff pitch. Fouled off again here by Shields. Shields with a hit in every game of this series. Had 2 hits in game 1. And then a single last night. And the 3-2, down and away into the turf it goes. Second walk of the night for Shields as he'll take the first base bag, and Xavier Faribault will take the second base bag here with 2 outs. Now the cleanup batter, Carter Klausman, has a walk. And then after that, popped out to the second baseman. First one offered up to Klausman, just a little high for a 1-0 count. Lights beginning to take some effect on the field as the sun continues to set. And the 1-0. High and inside. Fastball there shown by Augustine. And Klausman hitting the deck. Has 2 ducks on the pond with 2 outs. And a 6-1 Holsinger's lead. Searching for their 3rd consecutive title. Right-hander deals his 2-0, and it's an off-speed for a 2-1 count. Fans lined up all over the top of that hill in left field. There's fans everywhere surrounding Game 3 of this championship, 2-2 count. Who can blame them for great baseball we've seen throughout this postseason, especially this championship series. It's been a lot of fun to watch. And Locker Room and Holsingers, definitely two pretty evenly matched teams. It's appropriate that they both made the championship. Foul ball sent away by Klausman. And will continue to stand in with a 2-2 count. Xavier Faribault at second after his single, and Cannon Shields at first base after his walk. And the 2-2 pitch by Augustine. Roped out to left field. Camping under it is the left fielder, Smith, for out number 3. So Holsingers gets 2 runners on, but none of them able to advance and get a chance for home. To the 5th inning we go. 6-1 Holsingers lead as Locker Room is down to 6 outs. Back with more here in just a moment. It's Nate Buckley pinch hitting for Tobias Smith to start off the top of the 5th inning. With Locker Room trailing by 5 runs, Trenton Faribault still out on the mound for Holsingers and throws a first pitch strike to Buckley. The 0-1, swinging through that one, 0-2 here on Buckley. Keelan Wyant on deck for Locker Room. The 0-2, and he takes a high fastball. 1-2 count. Trenton Faribault sitting in with 77 total pitches so far through 4 innings. And a strikeout here of Nate Buckley for out number 1. Seventh batter that Faribault has struck out this evening. And now here's Wyant, who went down looking his last time up. High and away on the fastball. 1-0. And inside for a 2-0 count. Locker Room last recorded a hit with the leadoff batter in the 2nd inning. Since then, 2 walks, but those have been the only base runners since the top of that 2nd inning. But Keelan Wyant is trying to change that here with a 3-0 count, representing the number 9 batter in this Locker Room lineup. And the pitch hits the bottom corner for a 3-1 count. Strike two after 3 consecutive balls by Trenton Fairbaugh, starting to catch up here in the count. 1 out, nobody on base. And the payoff coming here to Wyatt. Swinging at that high one for strike number 3. 2 away. The 8th strikeout of the night by Trenton Fairbaugh on the bump. Now we go to the top of the order with Lawson Pizowski. It was a walk and a line out to the shortstop up to this point. First one to Pizowski. Big swing and a miss, trying to catch up to that heater. Locker room has their dugout cheering for Pizowski, trying to motivate him any way possible. With locker room now down to their final 4 outs here in the ball game. 1-1 count here on locker room center fielder. Now a 1-2 count, watching that one go by. Trenton Fairbaugh looking for the 1-2-3 inning. His 1-2, curveball sent right back to him. Takes his time, cuts the distance, and throws over to first for that 1-2-3 inning. To the bottom of the 5th, where Holsingers will look for some insurance runs to make it hard for locker room at the top of the 6th. Back here in Game 3 of the AABA Championship, where things are starting to wind down, and it's in favor of Holsingers. Big recipe for their success has been great pitching and consistent hitting. 3 runs for them in the bottom of the 1st and the 3rd to get them to where they're at right now. First pitch coming here to Micah Fairbaugh. It's inside for a 1-0 count. Has an RBI single on the day, along with reaching on an error. And the 1-0, slider that hits the zone at knee level, 1-1 even count. Next offering here by Augustine. It's a curveball that's slammed into left field. Chasing over is the left fielder towards the line, making the catch. Nicely done there by Tobias Smith for out number 1.
That brings up center fielder number 1, Corbin Johnston.
Now Corbin Johnston with a strikeout and single. After a single would come around to score a wild pitch. First one offered up by Augustine, and it's fouled off. Augustine set, ready for his 0-1 pitch. And here it is. And it's spiked into the turf, 1-1. It's been cool to read the comments throughout this postseason here on Facebook and YouTube. One of the coolest things I've seen, besides people chanting on the kids, is the amount of people watching from other states. 1 and 2 count. Got some people from Texas, South Florida, the Outer Banks, Myrtle Beach. It's been cool to see. And I'm glad we can bring this to you since you're away and can't watch the games in person. Lifted out to right field, down the first baseline, chasing over, going into the slide, but missing it is Wyant, allowing Corbin Johnston around second base and slide into third. A triple for Corbin Johnston. His second hit of the ball game after his single last time up. Puts an insurance run 60 feet away for Holsingers with 1 out. And now Gio Peretta, who had a big RBI double last time we saw. And that was actually Peretta's first hit of this championship series. So that made it even more clutch. Bunt, and it's fouled back. Dugout yelling, "Catch it," to Mason Steer. They're hoping he would react in time to catch that one that was fouled back, but it would have had to have been a heck of a play there by Mason Steer to get over there enough to make the grab. 0-1 count with 1 out. Johnston at third base. And the pitch. Another foul. Strike 2. Both of those pitches inside on Peretta, not pulling back on either of them, just trying to lay down a bunt. The ball hitting towards his hands on the bat. So interesting he didn't pull back for either of those. Instead, trying to lay down a bunt on inside pitches, and now an 0-2 count with 1 out, runner on third. In there for strike number 3. Peretta goes down with a backwards K. And there's 2 away with a runner on third base. Third strikeout of the evening recorded by Augustine. And the 5th total by locker room pitching tonight. Now the number 8 hitter, Taven Hatfield. Popped out to first and then struck out previous to this at-bat. Has one just outside. Good eye there. Stealing home here. Tag is applied, and out at home is Corbin Johnston. Holsingers risked it, and they got no reward out of it. Out number 3. As we make our way to the 6th inning, locker room needs at least 5 runs to force a bottom of the 6th. Well, this is it right here. Locker room down to their final 3 outs, needing at least 5 runs to force a bottom of the 6th. for their hopes of winning their first championship in program history to still be alive. New pitcher into the ball game here for Holsingers is Micah Faribaugh. Trenton Faribaugh moving to the shortstop position, and Cannon Shields going over to first base. First batter is Connor Steer, and he swings away at the first one he sees. 5 strong innings of work by Trenton Faribaugh. He was spectacular, giving up just 1 hit and 1 run, 3 walks. 0-2 count now here on Connor Steer. And ended with 8 strikeouts. The 0-2. Off the tip of the bat here for Steer, number 2 hitter in this locker room lineup. Leans in to get the pitch, gets the one he wants. And the 0-2 to Steer. Fly out to center field as Johnston makes the catch. 1 away. Locker room down to their final 2 outs.
That brings up the third baseman, number 11, Cooper Miller.
Now the third baseman, Cooper Miller, has a strikeout and ground out. So 1 away after that fly out to center field by Connor Steer. Righty versus righty battle. And the offering by Micah Faribaugh. This is just a touch up high, 1-0. And the pitch, up and away on that fastball. (2-0) upcoming here from Micah Faribaugh, dealing to the right-handed batter Cooper Miller. Cooper Miller sends a grounder over to the shortstop. Trenton Faribaugh throws it hard across the diamond to first base, but it was too high. Shields couldn't get down in time to touch the bag. So a throwing error there by Trenton Faribaugh will put a runner on first with 1 out. Now up comes Ty Rischel, and now the umpire is going to talk here after that. And I think they're going to confirm that he is safe. Coach Brian Faribaugh getting an explanation here. And now he'll make his way back in the dugout. So Cooper Miller reaching base for the first time this evening with 1 out. And now Rischel gets himself comfortable in that right-handed batter's box. First one to Rischel. Thought about taking a cut at that one. It's in the zone, 0-1. Micah Faribaugh looking to close this one out for Holsinger's 3rd consecutive title inside. Rischel hitting the turf on that one. Ended up being a lot closer to the strike zone than I think he initially thought it would be. 1-1 pitch. He moves out of the way of that one, but that time it's called a strike. Hit the inner half of the plate. And Xavier Faribaugh getting out of his stance quickly to prevent any advancement there by Miller at first base. 1 out. And the 1-2. Sent down the third baseline, fielding it, throw to second to get the lead runner. They get the lead runner on that nice throw by Gio Peretta from the hot corner. 2 outs. Now locker room season lies on the shoulders of Declan Lutz as a single and ground out. First pitch here to Lutz. Right down Main Street for strike number 1. If you're Holsingers, you can smell the title now. And the pitch. Curveball. Just missing outside, 1-1. One ball, 1 strike, 2 outs. Runner on first base. And the pitch. Popped up high in the air and foul territory. This could do it. Peretta under it. Makes the underhand grab. That's the ball game. For the 3rd straight season, Holsinger's Plumbing is going home with the championship. Just 2 losses in 3 years for this Holsinger's team. Both of those losses coming in this postseason, but it doesn't matter. At the end of it all, they've got the trophy yet again. Fantastic work by both teams to make it to this point, of course, and it was a very entertaining series to watch. Locker room, a very talented team, but just not enough to beat the powerhouse that is Holsinger's Plumbing. 6-1, your final score. Locker room scoring the first run of this ball game, and then after that, it was pretty quiet. When looking through my score sheet, locker room with just 1 hit in this ball game. All the other base runners were either an error, a fielder's choice, or a walk. So Holsinger's ability to just pitch superbly between Trenton Faribault and his 5 innings and Micah Faribault to close out the game right there really made the difference. And of course, the consistent hitting as well by Holsinger's. That first inning, they tacked on 3 runs and the lead never wavered. After an RBI single by Micah Faribault. And then Carter Klausman and Micah Faribault scoring on passed balls. And then their next trifecta of runs would come in that 3rd inning. After Xavier Faribault scored on an error. Coach Brian Faribault getting dumped with ice as we speak. Then an RBI double by Gio Peretta and Corbin Johnston scoring on a wild pitch to complete this 6-1 win for Holsingers.
Shouldn't you be playing music while they're setting up? You're the best.
So 6-1, your final score. Holsingers wins the title for the 3rd straight season. And again, just 2 losses in this 3 seasons for this team and this dynasty that they've built. That does it for me. I'm Jake Irwin, who's guided you through the play-by-play this evening. It was an honor bringing the stream to those of you who couldn't make the game in person as the trophy presentation starts here on the field. That does it for us. We'll keep the stream going for a little bit so you can watch this trophy presentation. For myself, Jake Irwin, here on the AABA Facebook page and YouTube channel, that's a wrap on the AABA season. And to wrap it up, Holsinger's Plumbing comes out on top for the 3rd straight year.
Association congratulates both teams on a great series and a terrific regular season. We would now like to recognize the players from our second place team, locker room. Lawson Pazowski. Connor Steer. Cooper Miller. Ty Herschel. Declan Lutz. Braden Augustine. Mason Steer. Tobias Smith. Keelan Lyon. Chase Piotti. Henry Drum. Nate Bugley. Carter Lomont. And now to accept the team trophy, manager Mike Herschel. And now for our 2024 AABA champion, Holsinger Swimming. Trenton Fairbaugh. Xavier Fairbaugh. Camden Shields.
Have you seen Mama?
Carter Klausman. Micah Fairbaugh. Corbin Johnson. Gio Peretta. Taven Hatfield. Eddie Brumbaugh. Corey Smith. Ava Delancey. Ben Gordon. Lyric Powell. Parker Trexler. Jackson Eversold. Levi Bailey. And Grayson McGarvey. Now to accept the league championship trophy, manager Brian Fairbaugh. Have a great summer, and we'll see you for opening day in April.